Hello and welcome back to our Krusty Burger Part 2, where we're cracking on with the roof for a moment. As you can see, I've worked a bit on it, like you see on the corner here. I'll just do it again just to show you. Basically, I knock out the corner piece, place in a block, place one on top, and place in one on every angle as you go up, and then place in a slab on the final one. And really, as much as it's not what I wanted to do, it's really all I could think to do. So for the normal gaps, we're going to use stairs, and we're going to come away from the corners 2 spaces in between every single one, and knocking out the bottom one to put a block in, and then placing our slab on top. And we'll do that 2 spaces all the way down until we hit the other corner, which will then only be 1 space, which is an annoyance, but we're so far through the build that it's a bit too late to now start adding, taking down 2 walls and putting them back up. So obviously if you haven't built it yet, or you haven't got that far through, you could extend it by an extra block on the build, on two of the walls, to make it square all the way around. But for me, I was too far through. Obviously I'm doing it on YouTube to you guys, so for that I am sorry that it hasn't exactly planned out perfectly. This is why I normally start on the roof rather than the build. It is really annoying. At the same time, we're going to make do with it. It shouldn't make too much of a difference. The only thing I would suggest is where you're going to meet one corner with the 1 gap, then on the side next to it leave a gap of 1. So if you've got a gap of 2, put a gap of 2. Like you can see on my corner here, I've got a space of 1 on the side, and then a space of 2 on the other side. So basically, if you're going to do this, I would say make sure both sides of the one gap from the edge are both on the same side, to keep it looking very good, because I can notice it, but I am the one doing it, and I can't notice it now that I'm further through the build now. But it is an annoyance because it isn't the way I wanted it. And if I'm honest, this building has been a pain, and it's not because it's hard to build. It isn't because it's been so time consuming. It is purely only because it hasn't gone the way I wanted. The roof can only be done this way in my mind, and I use stairs purely because I don't like the idea of full blocks. But then if you do that on the corners, you're talking 3 blocks on every level, and then them 3 blocks don't tie into the next level, so it just weren't really tying in the way I wanted it to. So I don't know, Krusty Burger, pain. Not my favourite build in Springfield. I'm hoping by the end of the build it may be somewhere near my top builds, but personally not my favourite building to build. That is just the way it is, I'm afraid. But not much I can really say about that. I am going to double layer the seals, so it's going to be the same as like we've done with Mo's. We are going to bring them out the extra block with the same orange wall. And while I've got chance, I am going to be trying a new project which involves actually a lot of you guys personally, and obviously a few of you are on Xbox, a few of you are on PlayStation. The only fallback is it's going to have to be Xbox One or PS4 owners. I know a couple of you have already asked me to add you. 2 that spring to mind, PF Nate and also Beatrix. I will be adding you guys, and we'll have a little chat about it on the actual console ourselves. But until then, I'm just gonna leave it at that I will be adding you, and I'm hoping to get a couple of little projects on the go, obviously on each console. I'm thinking it's going to be something completely new. I haven't seen it done before, and I'm hoping you guys are happy to do it. If anyone else is interested from the off, put your names down or message me your gamer tags if you don't feel too good about putting it down in the comments. But obviously you guys that are first on will obviously know what it's all about before anyone else, and then after that I suppose the rest of you guys will have to wait and find out what I'm planning and what I'm thinking. But I'm hoping it'll be a nice way of finding out a little bit more about you guys and hopefully doing a few bits together. So until then, we'll stick with this build. Obviously we're still going to carry on with all the projects we got going. I'm a little bit swamped. I won't be getting totally started on them projects probably before the weekend. Now guys, I'm going to go all the way around my build with my my slabs, my concrete slabs looking like pavement. For some reason I've forgotten what they're called now, stone slabs, sorry. And I'm literally going to leave the inside layer there, and that's purely for tall grass, just to give it a look of the bushes but without having to sort of build them up like we did on a couple of the other builds. And obviously it's going to come out 1, 2 and a third all the way around the rest of the building, apart from the far end where you would have the other part to drive through. Now this episode is quite a pain at the moment because I've used a picture that had like a dual runway in, so it was like in and out both ends. So a bit of it, I'm not gonna go through it all showing you guys me digging out load and planning all of the road. I've put a bit in showing you how I plan out my yellow markings to guide people around. But after that I'm just gonna go straight into how it looks afterwards, and then concentrate on start working on the sign and obviously the walls going around. Now guys, I would recommend, if you're not so interested in having the dual lane and maybe you want to cut a bit of the work out, I would suggest probably the best way to go about it is to have one lane. So one side of the building would be an in and the other side would be an out. Obviously I've made the room for the 2 lanes, so I've stuck to the picture I've got. So obviously that's totally up to you guys. Like I say guys, for my subscribers, I will be doing this map, or as soon as it's supported by Windows 10, I will be altering it, putting the buildings where they should be. If not, just building plans so you can download them and put them straight into your Minecraft itself. Once the actual map is complete, I will be doing the Springfield map for all my subscribers, chucking it out there on a private video for you guys so you can download it. Like I say, when it comes to adding people, I will be doing that project with my subscribers, but we have to wait till then to find out what it is. So guys, down that back end it's only 2 rows of concrete slabs. The reason being is because it is more the drive-through, it is where the machine is to actually put your order through. Back onto this lane will actually be 3 wide. So here you go guys, I've obviously put in my path, and rather than show you me actually going all the way around with my guide in, I'll give you the idea. Basically I've got my 2 lanes, 7 in width on each, And then I've got my car parking spaces running down this way that I've just put in a block just to mark out where they should go. I'm going to double layer my path all the way down here, and literally I'm going to start running in. Now I'm just going to grab my orange wall a minute, and that is purely, I'm going to do this 3 wide, so I'd end up having it 1 this side, 1 on the other side, like I do 2 layers now, and then I actually do another one on the other side, just coming out onto the path a bit. Now basically this part is just me trying to chuck in my markings for the car parking spaces, and really just showing you guys where I've gone with it before transitioning over to show you the full drive actually done. Like I say, for you guys it might be easier to save yourself 7 spaces and only do the 1 lane, but I'm trying to just, because I've stuck with one picture, I made up my mind in the end before, like jumping from picture to picture, it was easier for me to just stick with one and then work with that one, so I've just gone all out with it and trying to completely do it the same. So as you can see, I've run my yellow marker up, I'm turning the corner there, turning it around with 5 markers and then running it across so it was still 7 again. And now I'm just going to chuck in my back end car parking spaces. Now guys, I have also pre-ordered Disney Infinity. It'll be here Friday, the Twilight pack for Star Wars, and also Inside Out, and obviously I got the Toy Box Takeover, but that won't be here until October when that actually decides to come out, or September it might be. Also some Infinity discs. I'll probably do an unboxing just to show what actually comes like, because I'm very interested to see what the packaging is actually like. It looks very good compared to number 2 and 1. I myself actually only got into the toy box only about a month ago, so very interested to see what's going on in 3.0. Also 1st of September, Metal Gear Solid and also Mad Max, so I will be putting gameplays of them out and also playthroughs. So obviously I'm going to have to try and split my time between doing projects and trying to get through the gameplays. I've also got a backlog of games here that really I should have played already, but I just can't get through them at the moment. So if you guys are interested in any particular games, or I was wondering whether to do the Black Ops beta test. Personally, I try to stick away from Call of Duty now, as I realise a lot of it is all done, you know, it's really covered by a lot of people now, so I try to just stay away from it, stick to a few different things. But like I say, Friday, as soon as I have it, I will start doing a couple of videos. I'll show what I actually picked up. Obviously prices were quite expensive, but I'll just show you guys what I've actually got within there. Also straight afterwards we'll get a couple of gameplays done. First off, we'll probably do a couple of missions on each playset, and then obviously we'll try and get into the toy box as well, just to see what differences are going on there. Apparently very different to what it is on 2. So guys, this is me marking out how big I'm actually having it all going on the drive. So like I say, 7 on each lane, with a divider in the middle being the yellow, obviously a couple of arrows saying in and out. They are my best attempt at doing the arrows, I'm afraid. So there you go guys, that is literally how I've got it looking. Now for the wall, I'm just going to use sandstone, try and in-keep with what I've already got there. I'm going to try and keep it, I'm going to go up to a stack of 3 high, trying to in-keep it really with a couple of my other builds. As we run down to the other end, we're going to then use iron rails, because it is mesh fencing and iron rails is pretty much the closest you're going to get. So I'm going to do this wall 3 high running around to the corner of the back of Mo's, just to try and in-keep it for now. And then I've got the iron rails, which I'm going to do 2 layers of. So it'll be 3 high on the wall, 2 high on the iron rails. Just really trying to keep as accurate as possible. The real pain is going to be the sign. I haven't put burger within the sign, it's just Krusty, and I'm going to try and get started on a bit of pixel art with Krusty's head inside the burger, but not inside the burger, you know what I mean, on top of the burger like it should be. But that's going to take me a little time to really work out how to get that perfect, or to a standard I'm happy with. But the sign itself is actually 22 blocks long, just to fit in Krusty. So doing burger, I was thinking, should I do it underneath or should I do it, you know, completely separately? And I don't know, I thought best thing to do is stick with just Krusty, because it's still a very big sign anyway. 22 blocks is very big, and considering it's not on the building itself, that does make it quite high. So literally I'll show you where I've got to in just a moment once we finish what we're doing here. So there you have it guys, that is my borders of the car park and drive-through. We're just going to run round, and for the sign I'm going to use a quartz pillar. Just going to chuck in my tall grass a moment underneath where I've left the grass. I'm just going to run it all the way across. So like I say, for my sign I'm going to use a quartz pillar, and obviously going up as high as you feel comfortable with, but bearing in mind the sign is going to be 22 blocks lengthwise, so it really does, you know, it is going to be a real push to get that right. So I'm just going to extend my actual stand here out one further, and I'm going to go right over to the edge, and I'm going to use my quartz pillar or pillar quartz, and right on the end I'm just going to run it up. I mean, like I say, height is all down to yourselves really, whatever personal preference you've got, but it's got to be a little bit higher than the building itself, purely because the sign is so big. So I'm going to run mine out now, 9 on each side, taking it up to 19, including the one in the middle. And obviously one side's going to end up one longer than the other, unless of course you want to make it completely even, add one half slab on each side after you've reached 11, not 11 on each side, 10 on each side, and then have the one extra which you could then do white wool on before you actually do the build itself. So I'm going to finish off my edges with a slab. So with my red wool, I'm just going to, in the same style I would normally, I'm going to build it up 5 high, and the reason it's got to be 5 high is mainly because of the S being involved. Unfortunately S's aren't the easiest thing to just do without. It's either got to be 5 or higher, and 5 is pretty big as it is. So in the same style, you're just going to create the Krusty, and obviously coming across from that one, we're going to then leave that middle one out. So we're going to knock away the bottom piece and then build it up there. And this is really just me trying to keep it as tight as possible, but at the same time, obviously there's only so far you can go without merging them together, so this is as good as we've got. Basically all letters should be 3 wide, apart from the S, which I shortened to 2 wide, purely because I had the option to. And obviously having a layer of white wool in between them all. So we're just gonna crack on with our S now on the third one, come out and close it in, run down. And working on our Y, down to personal preference how high you really want it. In the end I make the tops 3 in length rather than the bottom being 3 in length. I don't know why, I just thought it looked a bit strange with just 2 on top. So I knock away the third one on the bottom there, and then just add an extra one to the bottom of the sides. And that is Krusty. Now going back to our dark oak planks, we're going to start from 1 in with the planks and then finish off with the slabs on the end. And now we're going to miss one and then put a slab on the third one in, and then going back to our blocks all the way across. Now I haven't calculated for where Krusty will actually be, so I'm going to knock that one away, put the slab instead, and just wanted to go back and really have a look. And you can see already the build is actually taking off much more than I originally thought it was going to. Quite happy with the roof now. Like I say, there was no other option with it, which I found really what would be the word, I just didn't like it. So irritating, sorry. I just found it so irritating that so limited on the roof because with the corners. So there we go guys, we got our actual Krusty burger there. We may add some layers to the actual burger bun itself, but for now I just wanted to finish that off. Now for this guys, I'm just going to use my grey clay, cyan clay, sorry, and then a couple of stoves just to add in the middle, and I'm going to sort of do like a figure 8, running it all the way around and then packing it in, then leaving the gap in the middle, so not that one there, knock that one away and filling in these 2 here, and then putting in my stoves. And then putting in the 2 on either side in the gaps. And that's just really just to give it a look as you fly over that it's there. Wasn't really too bothered about doing the stoves, you don't really need to. It's just purely to add the shape there that it's actually there, as you can see there. Now we're going to go ahead and place some bins, and for that we're just going to use white quartz and Arcanian, I can never pronounce the actual wood, and we're just going to use I don't know what that's called, a slab on top just to create the lid, and in keeping with the actual colours of the build itself. And we're just going to do a few of these. I did try placing a button on the slab, silly move really, but I thought we'd have a look just to see if we could create like the letterbox look, but obviously not. Now with my fence posts, we're just going to put them down, creating the look that is there. If you notice in the actual pictures, that one's actually very buckled, where someone's actually run into it a few times. We're just going to place these around. Knock that one away, place it more in the corner. And that's really more just to show where the car comes in to lay by, so it can pick up its food. As you see, I've put in the lines for where the car should stop, ready to get out on the street. We're just going to place a couple of bins, a couple of different places, and there's a white line there marking where we should have our order machine.